Guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are talking about none other than the single arm landmine press. Fantastic unilateral exercise to develop overall shoulder strength and power. I tend to like to do this exercise a little differently to the status quo. A lot of people like to have a staggered stance. I don't tend to like having staggered stances at all through all my workouts. However, that's just a personal thing. If you want to go a staggered stance, you can. I will describe both when it comes to this exercise. Okay, so let's talk about why you would do this exercise, how to create stability for this exercise, and then how to generate some really strong performances as a result of this, this exercise. So number one, why would we do this exercise? A lot of people like to use this as a power for upper body. So things like to help develop our overall overhead shoulder press, also to help develop our bench press. Obviously with stronger shoulders, you're going to translate into some stronger chest and pressing ability. Really good shoulder developer. So obviously we can develop some strength and hypertrophy as a result of this particular exercise, just like all other exercises that we can use throughout the range will give us the same sort of results if used correctly in the right setting. Okay, so stability, let's talk about this exercise. What I want to make sure that you understand that is when we press above our head, okay, there are a few things at play, and that is anyone who says that when you press above your head you're going to get too much trap involvement. Unfortunately, just the way the scapula works and the way the traps work, if you're raising your arm above your head, you are going to get trap involvement. It is as simple as that. So what can we do to create stability in order to potentially minimize our trap involvement and still gain most of the load through our shoulders? Well, we can pull our shoulder blades back and down, and I know I rant about this quite a lot, but we need to make sure that this message is drummed home that just about every exercise that you perform, you want to make sure that you are pulling your shoulder blades back and down. So for this particular exercise, we are going to pull our shoulder blades back and down, and if you are using or adopting the staggered stance, we're actually going to do a slight hip hinge. So, sorry, not a staggered stance, the symmetrical stance. We're going to do a slight hip hinge. So what we're going to do is slightly bring our hips out, pull our shoulder blades back and down. Now when we do this, we need to create stability through the feet. So we're going to create 3 points of contact. Our 3 points are in line with our big toe and our small toe, rock back onto our heel, and there are 3 points. We're going to screw our feet in. These are going to go slightly out, hip hinge slightly out. Now all that load's traveling through my glutes, my hamstrings, my quads, okay, and it takes away from my lower back. From this position, I'm going to pull my shoulder blades back and down, and now I'm set to go bang and press, bang and press. Okay, why would we do that? Obviously because the way the bar is connected to the fixed point, we need to obviously offset that angle by then creating the angle ourselves, which is why people go into a staggered stance. You can see that I'm slightly shifted forward now, and we are nice and able to press above. Now again, when we are pressing this, a lot of people tend to press out like that, like as if they're at a rave. Okay, we're not looking for that. We're looking to press up and above, just like a shoulder press. So we need to create that slight angle. Okay, so let's go into how this would look and how it would play out. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to start with this bar just outside the line of my shoulder. Now the reason being is because if I'm on the inside, for performance wise, yeah, fantastic, we can go bang and it's moving really, really well. But when it comes to generating more tension and getting more out of the muscle, we want to be slightly outside the line of gravity, because that way then it makes that muscle work a little bit harder. Now again, our goal, or my goal, is to generate as much muscle as possible, so I'm going to put more tension through that muscle. If your goal is to generate strength and power and speed, okay, for athletic performance or athletic performance or strength performance, if you're a powerlifter, then you want to be putting it in the most anatomical, advantageous position possible. So that would be on the inside of the shoulder, pressing up like so. Okay. So again, we're going to start in this position here. We're going to screw these feet in. We're going to offset that angle by slightly leaning or slightly doing a hip hinge. And from this position here, pressing up and forward, down, control your negative, up and forward, down, control your negative, and loading that shoulder up really nicely. Okay, if we're doing a staggered stance, we're going to have the opposite foot forward with the opposite leg back, or with the same leg of the same working arm back, and we're going to be pressing in that motion like so. Okay. Tricks to avoid. Want to make sure that we're looking down and ahead rather than arching up. Again, it's all about that line of travel. We want that travel to come straight up rather than out and ballooning forward. Obviously, we're going to be coming out because of the fixed point, but we want to offset the angle and then press up, okay? All right, team, that there is how you want to go about executing your single arm landmine press. I hope you picked up a few tricks and tips with this particular tutorial.